Righty, welcome guys. So it's going to be a bit different now because obviously I'm not going to the gym, in case you didn't notice coming from the glasses and everything. We are actually going to go to a safari lodge, I guess is what you would call them. So we're going to leave today. It's a bit of a ride, I'm not going to lie. It's about 2.5, 3 hours to get there. 120 miles or so, so it's going to take us a while for sure. So we're going to be in here for a while, but yeah, it's not the next few days are not really going to be training focused when it comes especially to the video. It's not really going to be training focused. It's mostly going to be about sort of lifestyle, just kind of like going away somewhere nice, having a fun time. Obviously the weather is nice, which is certainly a bonus in my opinion, because the forecast was saying that the weather is going to be shit today, it was going to be raining and all of that, but it's not the case, clearly, so that's fine. But yeah, our long journey starts today, about 120 miles to get to where we need to get. We're going to go see some animals, we're going to go get some food. I'm going to try to record as much as I can for the next couple of days. And yeah, this is probably going to be more of a vlog than, you know, training and whatnot. I might do something related to training, although I think this is going to be mostly lifestyle and mostly diet, what to expect when you are on a diet but you are going out, and obviously you can't really track everything to the best of your ability. But yeah, one of the other things that I kind of wanted to say when it comes to lifestyle, I fitted a new exhaust on the car and I'm very, very happy with the results. So I'm gonna fire her up, Jesus Christ. Not gonna rev it because it's obviously cold, but puts a smile to my face. It sounds like 54 times better than it did before. It pops and bangs. You get a couple of cracks on the upshifts as well, which is I personally really enjoy. But yeah, that's gonna be it really. That's all I wanted to say for now. We're obviously gonna start the ride now, and I'm gonna see you in about 3, maybe 4 hours depending on traffic. So upon arrival, you actually have to go through reception first, and then you go through this little area. This is kind of like, and this is the entrance to the park technically. You can go through here and walk through the park to get to the lodges, or you can get a ride to the lodges. That's obviously down to you. But as you can see, you have various shops and various food shops as well. Kind of like food places, I guess, that you can get food on your way into the park. But I would actually recommend you guys go through this park right here, actually walk to the lodges, because you're gonna come across various animals on their closed environments, such as this little fella over here. So there's actually quite a lot to see on the way to the lodges, but it is quite the walk to the lodges anyway, which is good. You know, this being a lifestyle and training channel, it's always good to walk. But yeah, it's a beautiful place for sure. Going in the actual lodge now, it took us about 15-20 minutes to walk to the lodge, but here we are. It looks very nice on the outside. Our lodge actually views the elephant area, so you go through the cabin here. Obviously, it's very pretty. It's absolutely beautiful, very well organized. It does remind me a bit of Africa as well, at my grandparents' house, because obviously they're from Africa. But this is the master bedroom, and this is the view from the master bedroom, so you can imagine what that feels like waking up to this view. Absolutely stunning. And then you go to the bathroom, and there is a toilet right behind me over there. And as you go upstairs, this lodge can actually sleep up to 6 people. So a family of 6 can easily sleep in the lodge. So you have the master bedroom and then 4 bunk beds, as you can see there. And obviously you have the view to the elephant area. You also get a few snacks there in a black box, a couple of crisps, biscuits, some fruit, and the white bag over there actually had candy, which we're obviously not fans of, but it has candy, I guess, for the kids, or if you're a family, it's a nice gesture for sure. So this is the view to the balcony. Well, I guess the balcony view, I should say. Again, we have the elephants right across this little pond. There are other lodges that have the giraffe encampment, or tigers, or lions, or whatever. There's actually quite a few animals. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but we had the elephant lodge, one of the elephant lodges, because as you can see, there's another one right next to us, and to our right here there's another one. So I think there's 3 or 4 that view the elephants. And then we actually went on a little walk, and we stumbled across the reptile world. And obviously we like reptiles, snakes in specifically, but we decided to kind of like go through it. And oh my god, this was amazing. Like, they have so many reptiles, and so many reptiles that I didn't expect to see, especially some of them that you are about to see in a second. Their sizes were absolutely ridiculous. So lizards, the one before was actually a lizard as well, just looked like a snake. Yeah, 2 more lizards just chilling there in the morning. Then we actually get to the first snake, beautiful little green fella right there. Now we go to one of the bigger fellas. I think this is a python, if I remember correctly, and there is another python on back right here. There we go. So this one was obviously a little bit bigger than the one that you saw before, but I think now we're actually gonna get to the interesting bit. So here you have 2 of the probably biggest snakes that I have ever seen in obviously a closed environment like this one. They were absolutely ridiculously big. You can just look at them. I'm not sure if the camera does them any justice, but seeing that up close, there's 2 of them in there actually, so seeing them up close was really quite something. And then you had 2 anacondas. Something interesting happens with this one tomorrow, because we do come back, but yeah, this one is probably going to stay on the same spot, just chilling there. Yeah, you got two nice anacondas there. So on the way back to the lodge, I grabbed a few donuts because they were homemade and they looked nice. So we actually saw the cheetah, and he was just chilling over there, and it was nice to actually see it, because on the way to the lodge we couldn't see her, so it was probably just hiding somewhere in the bushes, which I guess is what cheetahs do. And here from the lodge you can see the elephant in the background. He was having her breakfast as well, which was kind of nice to see. And then moving to the first night out, we decided to go out and have a bit of food. So you had asparaguses, some bread and butter, and obviously some hummus right there with some pita bread. I had the burger, and my missus had, don't know what she had specifically, and it was chicken, some couscous, and some sweet potato veggie, healthy stuff. Right, so the next morning, as I said, this is the view that you get once you wake up. I don't have many words to describe this. I don't think words are gonna do it any justice, but it was an absolutely beautiful view to wake up to. And we are actually now going to move to the breakfast. The interesting bit about this is, obviously this is all pre-booked, right? But you do get, from a certain menu, you get options, and you get breakfast, and then you get food for later on, which you're going to see in a second. But that was the breakfast, and they bring the breakfast, or the food in general, to your doorstep with fresh bread every morning, and every sort of around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon for you to have
your the food for the rest of the day, this is what it actually looks on the plate. Very well presented. It's cooked freshly. It was delicious. And obviously, once again, I have to show the view because it, again, words are not going to do it any justice. Here's the view again, just chilling in bed. This is the actual view that you get. And God blessed us with a few nice days as well, which was definitely a nice surprise because the forecast was saying otherwise. So we decided to take another walk, and these are African wild dogs. So we did see a few animals that we didn't see on the way to the lodge the first time. They were probably just hiding or just, being animals just hanging around bushes. This is the restaurant that the park has. I will say this is mostly for kids. It has pasta, pizza, chicken nuggets and stuff like that. But as I said again, we saw a few animals that we didn't see before. That is a very cute red panda. And I believe what's coming up are penguins. Yes, indeed it is. So there we had a few penguins who were just chilling. And back to the reptile world, because obviously we had to go through again the second day because we like reptiles, as I said before. And yeah, this one slightly changed its position and it had its breakfast there, I believe. These lizards were probably just doing a little hug over there. But look at them, they look they're so interesting to see up close. I guess any kind of animal that you don't see from day-to-day life is very interesting to see from up close. This is our friend again, hasn't really changed his position. He's just been chilling. I believe the python there as well hasn't really changed his position either. He's just been chilling there for the entire night. I guess they don't really do much, do they? So this is a lizard that we didn't see before. I can't remember what it's called. There's actually two of them in the same box. And from there, I believe we have the other python, the slightly bigger one. Again, this one hasn't really moved either from last night. And from there, we go to the two large pythons. I guess they were waiting for their breakfast. I mean, look at them. They're just staring at the door. They're definitely smelling something. There's something on the other side of the door, but who knows what it is. But it was, again, quite something to see. And this anaconda shed his skin last night. You can probably see it right there. He was hiding there in the corner. And as I said, this one hasn't really moved. He was just chilling there since yesterday. Same position, hasn't moved. And now we're actually going to go through the Jurassic world. So they had a little sort of section with dinosaurs, obviously fossils, obviously. So you could see a couple of fossils, and then I think these dinosaurs were to scale, the ones that you're about to see. So it gives you an idea of what they looked like. And they did place them in a few, interesting positions, I should say, straight up for a jump scare there. But yeah, they had little descriptions of, given their names and sort of like their habits, what they used to weigh, how tall they were, eating habits, all that kind of stuff, interesting stuff that you could read on your way through this park. But yeah, I mean, you're going to see quite a few of interesting animals here and there, nothing we really haven't seen before in a movie, or, biology books, history books, whatever. But yeah, there were quite a few of them, to be honest. It was definitely a very big section. Again, I guess that was aimed for kids for the most part, but interesting to see nonetheless. So in the morning of day 2, we attended a sea lion show. So they had 3 male sea lions, and they were going through their morning workout routine, I guess, which actually the sea lions need so they can keep their brains, active, and obviously they throw fish and they make them do make so they don't really make them, but they do tricks so they can keep their mind sort of active, and they throw fish so they can hunt for the fish, although they're not really hunting for it. But these sea lions, they have a nice life. They do their show, they do their little workout routine in the morning, they eat about 8 times a day, they don't have to worry about any predators, so they're doing quite well. But yeah, the people there, they were just explaining us fun facts about sea lions, how old they are, how their habits, what they like to do, because they genuinely do have characters, each and every one of them. So they have, things that they like, things that they dislike. They do certain things to show dominance and so on and so forth. So it was a very interesting show. I would definitely attend that if I were you. Right, so for the thing we've all been waiting for, the Safari Drive. This is an interesting experience, I have to say. This is the first time that I've ever done it. You get to choose if you want to drive in your own car, or if you want to or if you want to be part of a mini bus tour. Obviously, we drove in our own car. The interesting thing is that animals are actually free roaming in the Safari Drive. Some of them, not all of them, but you can see that they're in the middle of the road, and sometimes they do cause traffic. So that's a thing. In a safari, animals will cause traffic. So these rhinos right here decided to just go through and cross the road, because what was so interesting to me is how these animals were they knew that this is a car, although to them it must look like a strange animal of some sort, but they were so okay with cars being there. And some cars are louder than others, but they weren't really bothered by that. They didn't really react to it at all. Any animals, not just the ones that you see here, which was quite interesting. I will tell you that there's a few tigers later on. They had to be they were in kind of like an enclosed area, whereas lions weren't. So lions were just roaming around. Tigers weren't. Tigers had to be in a closed environment. I guess for obvious reasons, but you never know. They also had an insect world and a mini aquarium that didn't have a lot there, I have to say. But look, I'm not really holding that against them because they have a safari drive and a safari walk, I guess you can say, which you're about to see in a second. So having more sort of animals, although these are insects, and this is kind of too much. I mean, the park was absolutely massive, and there's plenty to see and plenty to do. You don't need more, but they also did have this nice little area. So this is a safari walk. So this is just another part of the park. You can they have hippos, they have lemurs, they have lions, they have meerkats, they have all sorts of things. Which I'm just gonna let you enjoy the film over there in a second. But yeah, again, it was pretty similar to the Jurassic World part. So they had sort of tabs with descriptions and sort of explaining the habits, how much an animal is usually weight when they reach adulthood, height, all that kind of stuff, what they eat, eating habits, diets, and so on and so forth. But yeah, again, there's a lot to see. There's a lot to see. We barely fitted everything in 2 days, so you can easily stay for longer and just enjoy and have new things to do every day for sure. Now the food. Let's actually get to the interesting part that we're all here for. I'm joking, but look, I mean, food. You know me. It's a bodybuilding channel at the end of the day. I know we're doing a little bit of lifestyle here, but food is kind of like it is a big part of my life for sure. And I have to say, food in this place was absolutely stunning. It was so well prepared. It was definitely made by professional chefs, and they make it fresh every day. I guess the only thing that you could say, if you were being very, very picky, is that it comes in these little jars. My missus didn't really like the idea of the jars in the beginning. Then she had the food and she was like, you know what, this is actually very, very tasty. I know it doesn't look a lot in jars, but we are actually going to show that on a plate in a second. And you can see from there, the difference is night and day. There you go. It's just night and day. I mean, this looks like it came straight from a restaurant, and it's so tasty, freshly made. They bring you freshly made bread every evening on your doorstep, so you don't have to go anywhere. They just bring everything to you. You get to stay in your lodge and just enjoy nice food. And they had quite a lot of options as well, vegan options. Obviously, they take care of allergies and stuff like that. But as you can see, there's plenty of options to choose from. Some stuff are healthier than others, I will have to say that, but at the end of the day, I mean, as you can see there, there's quite a bit of green going on, but that they have options. But yeah, that's pretty much all for this one. I'm gonna leave you with a little talk that I did at the end of the video here. I'm just talking about food and lifestyle and what I do when I go out. But that's it from me. Peace.
Righty guys, so I thought to do a little talk about how the last couple of days have been going on. Obviously we'll sit at the park, we're having a fantastic time. As you can see, it's beautiful here, lots of animals to see. We went through the drive today, tons and tons and tons of things to see. But I thought, let's actually talk about something constructive. Let's give these people some information, let's give some value, not just lifestyle stuff and how great the safari park is or how good the food is, which is obviously all of these things are true. However, we are going to talk about, I am going to give a little bit of value off the back of that. So to begin with, and this is actually one of the questions that I'm actually getting asked a lot when I'm talking with friends or with people at the gym. What do I do when I go away in terms of diet? Now, as many of you should know, I'm assuming you guys know, diet is a very important thing when it comes to lifestyle and training. It's, to me, diet is probably 70% of it, like training and a couple of other stuff are about 30, they account for about 30 to 40%. But really, when it comes to diet, if you don't have the proper nutrition, if you don't eat enough, or if you eat too much, this will affect your sleep, this will affect how you look, this will affect your performance at the gym. Either way, if you're going to go to one of the or the other extreme, so eating too little or eating too much, it's going to affect your lifestyle quite a bit. So when I do go to, away from my home, when I don't have access to my own kitchen or my own ingredients, and I have to eat stuff from either restaurants or, in this case, the people here actually prepare our food and bring it in, and we had to make some choices beforehand, and so on and so forth. Two things. The good thing is they have the calories. Most places actually have the calories of whatever you choose. So if you choose plate A, it's going to tell you how many calories it has. If you choose plate B, it's going to tell you how many calories it has. It could be a dessert, it could be a main, it could be a starter, it doesn't really matter. And as long as you know the calories that it contains, you should be fine, and you should just add it up at the end of the day and make sure you're more or less on, at least within maintenance. If you're on a cut, you know what your maintenance is, you can be a little bit below that, or if you are on a surplus, you can eat a little bit more than your maintenance. It shouldn't really make a huge difference. It's like, for 2 days, is anything really bad gonna happen? Like, what do I do when I'm away? And the answer to that is, I just eat. I just eat. Now, I know from experience how much 1,000 calories is worth of food, more or less. I know that if I'm gonna go for burgers and fries, I'm probably looking at a surplus of 1,000 calories easily. It's usually, a burger is usually around 12 to 1,300 calories, more or less, give or take. And obviously, if you're gonna add like mayonnaise and other kind of sauces, add more calories to it. I would add 100 calories on top for a single pack of mayonnaise. Easily, they have 100 calories. Again, if you're gonna go out and you're gonna eat bread with a lot of butter, butter has a shit ton of calories. So yeah, just be aware of those little things. Stay away from fats. Now, you can't really escape them when you go away, because good food, like tasty food, is usually very high in fats and obviously carbs. So you can't really avoid them, but for the most part, you can easily not have extra sauce on the plate. You can avoid butter, just like spreading butter on a piece of toast. You can just avoid these kind of things, and they should work for you. But even if you don't, even if you're going to go above your maintenance, let alone a cut, which I'm currently doing, is anything really going to change in 2 days? There are actually two answers. One answer is no. 2 days is not really going to do that much of a damage, especially if you stay consistent with your cut and your calorie intake specifically throughout the weeks to come. You're not 2 days of just eating more. Even if your deficit is around 2,600, even if you eat 4,000 calories in those 2 days, so a surplus of 1,400 calories a day, if you're remaining consistent, this is gonna, within a week, you're gonna be back to baseline and you're gonna be cutting again. And all these calories are gonna go and you're gonna be fine. So I wouldn't really advise going overboard because you can really go overboard. Like I know people, myself including, if I am going to go out and there is tasty food, pizzas, ice creams, waffles, donuts, and so on and so forth, and you eat loads of those, at the end of the day, you're probably looking at a surplus of 2 to 3,000 calories on top of your maintenance calories, right? So that's quite excessive, but it does happen, and it's actually very easy to happen because you don't really notice how much you eat, how many calories you intake every day. So, but my sort of advice is if you're going to go away for 2 days, eat whatever you want within reason. Like eat 3 meals a day, maybe four. If you want to count dessert as a fourth one, that's fine. Eat 4 meals a day. I think it's very hard, especially if you're going to be in an environment like we are, where they bring you the food. If you're going to eat the food they bring you, if they're not going to bring you a lot of food, they're not going to bring you food that's on the excess of 4,000 calories, right? Because then obviously they're losing money, they're a business, they need to kind of like keep the costs down, so they're not going to give you so much food. But they will probably give you a fair amount of food, which is going to have more calories, definitely more calories than, the less calorie sort of variations you can do with this sort of dishes, because obviously they want the food to be tasty for everyone and they want people to eat their food and leave good reviews and so on and so forth. So obviously it's going to be higher in calories. You should expect that, but it's fine if you eat 4 meals a day, especially if they prepare them for you. I sincerely doubt you're going to go anywhere above 3,000 calories in a day. For a normal person, maybe a bit more, maybe 3.5 if you're bigger like I am, maybe even 4. Like some of these days that I'm eating here, I'm pretty sure I might have gone close to 4,000 calories. It's fine for me personally. It's fine, but yeah, that's going to be the one thing that I wanted to talk about, which is diet and what to do when you're away. Just within moderation, eat whatever you want. I know that a burger is not the most, how should I say this? Calorie focused meal, which is specifically made for muscle growth and diet and dieting and fat loss. It's not, a burger is anything but that. It's going to be high in calories, it's going to be very tasty, but it is what it is. Just be aware of the choices that you have, and again, if the menu says the calories, even better. You can just add it up and you can be done with it. It's very easy to do. A lot of places these days do, so I don't think that's going to be a huge problem. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about is actually what training am I going to do in these 2 days? Because this is actually, believe it or not, this is actually another question that I'm getting a lot, especially from friends. What do you do when you go away and you don't have access to a gym, or you just don't have enough time to train, or whatever it might be? And the answer is, truthfully, I don't train. When I'm away and there is no access to a gym, I don't train. And the following up question that I usually get is, well, what about your muscle growth and your progress and blah, 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 blah? Aren't you going to lose all the muscle? It's like, if you believe that you can go to the gym every single day, 5 days a week, let's say, let's keep it, at a normal level for most people. Let's say that you go to the gym for 5 days a week, and then you believe that you're going to go away for 2 days and you're not going to train at all, and all of a sudden you're going to see a decline in your performance, a decline in your muscle mass, and you're going to lose tons and tons of muscle and strength. I'm not going to call you any names, but it's not going to happen. You'll be fine. Trust me, 2 days, even 3 days, even 4 days are not going to do anything. Matter of fact, if you are one of these kind of people, like I am, who work very hard in the gym and they go to failure and they go, again, 5 days a week, every single week, and they don't miss a day, if you take that time off, 2 to 3, maybe even 4 days, not doing anything, just walking around like I am in these 2 days, your body might actually grow
larger, your muscles, they're gonna grow because you're gonna give them enough time to rest and recover. You're gonna be stronger when you go back at the gym, which of course we can test when I'm back at the gym, but I'm telling you, you're gonna be stronger because you're gonna be more recovered than last time, and you're gonna be your nervous system. It's just gonna that constant hitting of just lifting weights all the time. This your nervous system is just gonna go back to the baseline, and it's gonna be chilled, and you're gonna be able to go back and lift heavy weights, have very high levels of performance, and again, you might even actually add muscle mass, not lose, add muscle mass. So when I'm away, especially in these types of scenarios where there's animals to see and you need to walk around to see places, because why should you drive? If you are in those type of holidays and you want to walk around, is walking really going to damage your muscle growth? That's just dumb. No, it's not, is the answer. It's really not going to damage your muscle growth or your progress. If you're going to walk a lot, you will look better because you lose body fat. Believe it or not, actually, if you walk a lot, walking is probably the easiest exercise to do. It's easier than lifting weights by far, and it's much easier than doing any sort of cardio, a little bit of bike or swimming especially, or rowing or running. Walking is by far the easiest thing you can do. I could probably walk all day. It's not going to be the best thing in the world, and it does going to take quite a bit of effort and obviously calories, but I can walk all day, like literally for 10 hours straight, I can just walk. Not ideal, I'm not saying do that, I'm not saying go crazy, right? Just remain within some boundaries, don't go to the extremes when it comes to diet, when it comes to working out, and when it comes to cardio. Just stay within certain boundaries and you're going to be fine for the most part. So walking is one of the best and easiest ways to lose body fat by far. It takes a bit more time because obviously you're going to lose less calories unless you're like doing a higher intensity exercise such as running or swimming. But for the most part, yeah, walking is the easiest piece of exercise that you can do. And you're going to be fine. You're not going to lose muscle mass. It's going to be fine. If anything, I think your body, it's going to thank you for it if you start walking more. So it should be all right, guys. Eat whatever you want within some reasons and some kind of like reasonable boundaries. So don't go for the butter. Don't go for the sauces. If you can, have higher amounts of vegetables, fruits. If you can, if those choices are available. If not, fine. Just eat for 2 days, whatever there is on the menu. Even if it's higher in calories, even if you go close to 3,000 calories for a day, you'll be fine. And when it comes to training, don't lift weights for 2 days. Nothing is going to happen. I'm telling you, if anything, you're going to come back at the gym and you're going to be stronger. Your nervous system is not going to be as taxed, and you're going to be able to lift more weight. Performance is going to be better. You're going to feel a lot better. You might actually look leaner if you walk a lot. So don't be afraid of all those things. Just do them. You're going to be fine. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy this last day here in the safari park. I think tomorrow we're going to head back quite early because we need to check out by 10 a.m. So it's going to be all right. There will be some more stuff to see, and then we'll certainly sort of go from there. But yeah, guys, it's been a wonderful 2 days. This safari park in the West Midlands in England has been amazing so far. Honestly, very little, if any, negatives in my opinion. I mean, you can be very picky, but what's the point, right? Nowhere is perfect, but this is as close to perfection as you can get. It's very beautiful. The weather, surprisingly enough, has been nice. Surprisingly enough, I mean, it did rain, but it didn't like pour down with rain. It was just kind of like one of those things, which is like it spots a little bit and then it goes away, which is fine. We don't mind that. So yeah, here we are. Beautiful evening. I'm waiting for food, believe it or not. So I thought to do this little talk before food comes. And when it comes, we're going to eat. We're probably going to walk around a bit more. And that will be that. For the most part, guys, that's pretty much it. That's my advice. Don't be afraid to eat. Don't be afraid to do higher levels of cardio, especially that low and steady cardio, which is walking. You're going to be fine. Your body's going to thank you. Take a break every now and again. Trust me, you are not going to regret it. So that's all for me.